You know, the globe proof. Have you got any of that, or is that just us?
What do you mean, the globe proof?
Well, I mean proof of globe. I mean,
What would that be?
You're the logician. I know we
Well, I'm not
jokingly
apparently. You
call
said
you the proofless logician.
no. You said
Or
a few
sorry,
months
the
ago I wasn't
proofless
a logician at
dogmatician.
all. Right. Okay. You said I wasn't a logician. Remember?
Well, yeah, that's like I say, you're proofless.
Yeah.
So that doesn't you
No,
can't really
you actually
can't
said I
really
wasn't.
be a logician
Fair
without any
enough.
proof,
So
can you?
right. So there's no point asking me.
Well, I know, yeah, because you haven't got any. I mean, that's obvious. I said like you haven't got any, but we have. Like we're the only ones with this proof of globe.
Yeah. So I asked. So what is that?
What the proof of
What is
the
your proof of
globe?
the globe?
Well, it's dogmatic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone knows tis globe. It has been shown that with logic everything and anything can be linked to tis globe. Geometry axioms 4, 5, and 6. Therefore, all existing proofs within reality can also be used to prove the real globe by extension of these basic simple axioms that everyone knows to be unquestionably true. Real-world practical uses with logic can be shown thus. In the real world, it is thought to be known as tis globe. Yet anything that can be proved to be true in the real world can be used by progression of these universally changing axioms to be proved by axiomatic extension of the real globe. What follows is some logic proof of globe. Logic states if G then G, and if G and G then G, therefore it can be proved directly by and globe, and globe, and globe, and globe, and globe, or indirectly by it's not flat, and globe, it's not flat, therefore tis globe. Or if it's not flat, then it's not flat, then it's definitely globe. We can safely say it's not flat, therefore tis globe. Rest assured that we will continue to progress the proofs of globe. Globus trollens, the globe that affirms by affirmation. Globus trollens, if tis G, then not flat, therefore tis globe. So starting with the premise tis globe, we can say, if the reality we live in is tis globe, tis G, then the reality we live in could not be flat, tis not flat. And proven by then that the reality we live in is not flat, tis not flat. Therefore the reality we live in is tis globe, tis globe. Confirmation through globus trollens, globus balance, a globe that affirms by denial. Globus balance, is not, and not. Therefore, starting with the premise it's not flat, not, you can say it. If the reality we live in is not flat, not fluff, then the reality we live in is not flat, not fluff. Then the reality we live in must be tis globe. The reality we live in has been proven to not be flat, but then not fluff. Therefore the reality we live in has to be tis globe. Tis globe, confirmation by globus ballens, globus ballendo trollens. The globe that affirms by denial of affirmation. If that, then not that, not that, not, therefore that. Starting with the major premise that tis globe, we can say if that reality we live in is tis globe, then the reality we live in can't be not that, not that, not. Through logical deduction, since it's clear to everyone that ever existed in the known universe that tis globe, the natural conclusion is that tis globe cannot be at the same time both be that tis globe and not that, not tis globe. Therefore that must be that tis globe. Rest assured that we will continue to progress the proofs of globe. Be at peace with your globe. Therefore that must be that this globe. Rest assured that we will continue to progress the proofs of globe. Be at peace with your globe. Therefore
And we are live. Welcome everyone. My Streamlabs seems to be playing up a bit slow. Is that sound all right for everyone out there? Microphone sound. I know Discord sounds all right. So welcome everyone. It's a Wednesday, Logic Day, or our old traditional Logic Day, but isn't every day Logic Day? I think it is. Let us know. Is there any gossip? I mean, I do have a bit because I was watching. Did you like the intro? Did you like the music? I mean, it's not Buster. I'm going to be working on the. We had the Logician's copy pasta, didn't we? Going to work on that. That should be pretty. Should be a pretty funky tune. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know whether we're losing. Well, I don't know. I think. I think we've been trying to tell people for a long time. We're trying to be polite to all of the flat earthers and that, because like we've entered into what seemed to be an arena where, you know, I found that a load of people were being challenged and called horrific names because of the fact that, you know, they were deemed flat earthers by this other group of people who were I called pretty nasty. You know, I thought they. But it turns out the flat earthers are just as bad. The model affliction works both ways, and it's the acceptance of a contradiction that makes people like that. And we've been talking about this model affliction for a long time. And I think, unfortunately, it requires somebody without a model. Strange circumstances have led me to be that person. Now other people can't imagine what it would be like. I can't imagine what it would be like to have a model. Somebody trying to force me models upon me all my life, really, and I can't accept a model because I know reality. That's all I need. So here we are in the position where people want to try and give you a model, but all we want to do is talk about reality. And there's people who consider you not choosing one of these models, what we call a false dichotomy. They don't want to play the game, right? They don't want to play the reality game. They just want to play false dichotomy. False dichotomy ping pong. And then imagine that's some sort of argument that you can call a debate. And, well, they've generated a lot of stuff around it. Now, what I saw last night was ridiculous. And I'd sort of feel responsible for these sort of things. Because it starts off, we say the Earth's not flat, right? It's obviously not flat. Here's a modus tollens to show you that the Earth is not flat. And then Nathan Oakley makes a ridiculous statement that the Earth's measured flat. And we say, well, it's measured not flat, the exact opposite. And then a guy called Lumpy turns up and also says the same thing to Nathan. And I warned him about it. But now it's become a public show of the attitudes of the people within this arena. Now, I came into this because Fight the Flat Earth was doing a similar sort of thing. Because they don't want people saying certain things. So, Fight the Flat Earth targeted me. and made it obvious to everybody that you don't say the sort of things that I say. Now, Nathan Oakley tried to do similar to us. Obviously, he's said all sorts of ridiculous things about us publicly, but that wasn't working because we've never been a flat earther. I've never been in that little gang, whereas Lumpy was in Nathan Oakley's little gang. He used to super chat Nathan Oakley a lot. And now, happened last night, Godzilla. Everybody knows Gords, or he's a regular figure around this place. I don't know why most people are around here, or they have been around in this arena for however long. Most people have been around, well, I've been around 6 years now. I know Emma's similar. Most of the people I know have been from then, or around about that sort of time. Or the people that we've gained, in the On the Level group, then, that's sort of changed. The people have joined us and we've been doing what we do. But people know Godzilla now. Godzilla's been around for quite a long time. Probably around. He'll be around later watching this or whatever. But he happened to say last night to Nathan Oakley in QE's stream. So this is just in the chat. Most people wouldn't know about it unless you're actually watching the chat. Most people don't even do that. I don't even know how many people were listening about what's going on. But Nathan Oakley publicly brought Lumpy up, calling him some weird names. And then he also says to Godzilla, he says, by asking the question, how's the earth measured flat, Nathan, you're helping these perverts get off. Now, if that's not meant to shut down questions, I don't know what is. It's like really bad tactics. That nobody should be using these sort of things. But Nathan Oakley's happy to say these sort of things publicly. Well, in the chat. Don't know how many people are watching. But he'll say it publicly. He put a video out. Similar sort of thing. Kumu virus, you got a problem with models? Come in and have a chat. If you got a problem with models. I don't have a model, I just have reality. I don't have a model of reality because reality is reality. I don't need a model of reality. I have reality to be that thing. So, yeah, I can't really understand this concept of people having models or needing other people to have models too. Yes, Eric. So there's a new thing I think coming, because I mean people are realizing that the earth isn't actually flat. And one of those weird things that once you realize that the earth isn't actually flat, then you have to work out what your definition of flat earth is. And will you allow that definition of not flat to be not flat? Do you make allowances for that? Because if you do, that's a contradiction. And you're allowing yourself to have a contradiction. Now, I think most people, modern day times, they have to take on these contradictions. There's a necessity for you to hold contradictions. And there's a problem when you weigh up this, because I don't think most people, because they hold contradictions already, they don't want to see those contradictions. because it means you have to employ this logical thinking, and the moment you do, you'll find out that these contradictions and problems are sort of everywhere. And I don't know whether most people like solving problems, particularly pertaining to reality. People trying to push models. It's really weird. Why don't people just go with proofs within reality? Why do you have to have a model of something? It doesn't make sense. But I think that's because proofs require logic, and the moment you start employing logic, then your life changes. Your whole thought thing changes, and I don't know whether most people can take that on or not. Seems like these conversations can't really happen because people get too triggered about logic. Don't know. People want to consider looking at the lights in the sky and what they do. A way of falsifying something. Because it's still true that if the Earth is a spherical object, then the surface of liquid water must curve. That's a syllogism. I say that a water level is a tool that establishes a horizontal plane of reference, and I say that there's no curvature to a horizontal plane of reference. Put that on your globe. Most people do. That's one of the contradictions that most people live with. Some people wouldn't even consider it a contradiction. It's just so natural that 'tis globe and level is horizontal. They both just go together anyway. I don't know what the problem would be. Most people would agree with you. In fact, they do. That's because most people don't think about globe. They just know 'tis globe. Why do they need to think about it? You just put things in reality on your globe. Be done with it. Use math. Akumu's using math in the chat. That's good. Bish bash bosh. We can all use a bit of math. If you understood science more. What's this? What are we doing? We're doing some sums, because math's definitely better at doing sums than science. Testing reality with math. What he means is his measurements. That's mathematics. Foundations of mathematics. Like surveying. Geometry. Perpendicular. Perpendicular is the great leveler, right? Because everybody has perpendicular. Vertical and horizontal are definitely perpendicular, aren't they? Everyone can say that. It's one of the things that we all know. So has anybody got any views on the latest Nathan Oakley tactic for stopping conversation about his ridiculous measured flat claim? Because there isn't even a way that you could measure anything flat. I've been over this many times, and I'm pretty sure Nathan Oakley tries to measure an angle, but that's an angle in the vertical plane. If that flat would be in the vertical, and if that's what Nathan Oakley considers flat Earth, then that's how you measure flatness, is by measuring an angle in the vertical plane. Then the flatness must be within the vertical plane. But this is flat Earth logic that we're dealing with. It's nonsense, right? There is no thought that goes into any of this stuff, particularly with flat earthers. Or, well, is there anyone that can have a conversation anymore? I don't know. Here we are with the proofs that the Earth's not flat, and here we are with the proofs 'tis globe, right? We've got globe proofs. Proof by contradiction. I've had a few conversations with a few people about what a proof by contradiction would be. And it requires people to understand what a contradiction is. But every time I've ever talked to anyone about it so far, they've wanted to justify a contradiction. So it seems that most people wouldn't be able to accept a proof by contradiction because they want to justify a contradiction in the starting premise. And you can't start an argument off with a contradiction or a misunderstanding of what a contradiction is, or a justification for a contradiction within the premise of an argument. It's ridiculous. That's how bad 2024 modern day logic, argumentation, understanding, that's how far away from debate we are, is that people want to justify contradictions. I was hoping that Godzilla might have been around to see what he thought of it last night. Kumu using LIGO. Come on, Kumu, you're 3 or 4 years out of touch there. You don't think level's horizontal? I have to keep saying this. A level is a tool that's used in reality. And when you set a level up, it establishes a horizontal plane of reference. That is why level is horizontal within reality. And there's no contradictions within that either. You can't then have level not being horizontal as well, because there you have a contradiction. Whereas level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. Then obviously level is horizontal. You can't have level not being horizontal. And horizontal being a plane also. There's no need to imagine LIGO doesn't exist. Arms are perpendicular with no slope. Therefore, horizontal. Dead easy. dead straight, no slope. That's horizontal. Akumu virus, would you not agree with that? No imagination. Who needs an imagination? An imagination for the abstract, because that's mathematics, right? Surely most people can understand abstract. Imagination isn't welcome here. It is if we've got imaginometry. Don't be trying to say that, Akumu virus. It's the whole basis of logic, isn't it? If, then. Of course you have to imagine the abstract. If you have to imagine a triangle, you imagine problems, and that's how you solve them. When somebody says, imagine a globe, most people just imagine reality. Or a little model up on the shelf somewhere. If you've got one on the shelf, you might have it on your, on your wall, on your mantelpiece or something, who knows. Might have one suspended by magnets, like me. So has anybody else got any other gossip other than... Because I've not been listening to any flat earth stuff apart from putting on QE last night, because we had our friend UR. He came round and said he was due to debate QE on biblical cosmology, was it? I think he was due to do that on Tuesday, so I listened in, and he did attempt to have the debate. I think, I don't know whether I missed it, didn't hear it, but I said I'd like to have a chat with him afterwards, and that's where I saw Nathan Oakley trying to shame Godzilla for asking Nathan. Well, he was using the tactics of shaming someone else, and I've seen this tactic used a bit before, many other times, whereas they bring up somebody else who you might be friends with or whatever. Like, like you might not have a beef with this person, but Nathan Oakley does this sort of tactic where he says, oh, that's what such and such says, and such is a liar and a thief, and just make up any other things about this other person rather than address the question that he's been asked of him. He'll associate it to someone else and then start berating this other person. And you feel guilty because you've brought this particular thing up. And rather than Nathan address the thing, he's gone into a tirade about attacking somebody else. That's that's the way it is. Modern day flat earth debate styley. I've seen other people do it as well, over the time. I mean, I think everybody says that. Well, I remember 6 years ago when I started this, and I said, said something about geometry, and somebody said, oh, you're like Dell, are you? And then starts having a go at Dell. And I was like, who's Dell? I don't know who Dell is. But rather than addressing the thing that I was saying, they'd associated it to Dell. And then they went off on all of the things that Dell's said and Dell's done. Well, that's what Nathan Oakley's doing now. That's what Nathan Oakley does. If anybody asks him about the Earth being measured flat, Nathan Oakley's claim. Ridiculous claim. Paige talking about Duffy's charges. I can't believe he's got any charges like that. He's smiling. He's a happy chap. He's always got a grin on his face. So, they might just be lies that people have put out so he can claim victim status about people saying stuff about him like that. Paige, you never know. They'll do anything. Do we know anything about whether Jeren or Whitsitt are actually said that they're going yet? Because, I mean, I don't know who the flat earthers are that they want to be taken. Don't think it's going to happen, really. It's got a long time to go. No one got anything else? Because, like I say, I haven't been listening to anything. I wouldn't know, Paige. I don't know. Can you say that, or are you just added to it? See any court papers or anything? Just rumours being spread around. There's probably more people going to come forward, but don't know whether that's for us to do or not. Does nobody care about Nathan Oakley calling Godzilla a pervert helper, right? Helping get off perverts by asking Nathan Oakley questions. Nobody care about that. It's weird. Poor guy Lumpy. He's getting the butt end of all of this stuff. Who knows what's going on? What's going on in the chat? Are we talking about something different? Are you guys talking about something different? Well, them all. Think, how much money did Lumpy give Nathan? Because that's one of the things that you have to take into account here. Lumpy, over the years, when he was working, gave Nathan a load of money. Loads. I can remember, that's how you know of Lumpy gas in a vacuum, because Nathan used to shout him out because he was super chatting him all the time. Much like Gods does all of that, right? You know these names because they've super chatted Nathan. Nathan doesn't look at his chat, doesn't mention anything about any other chat unless you've paid him. So that's the only way you know these people. And last night, he, I don't know, I think he probably banned Gourds. Because Gourds stopped posting. Go on.
That's what you do, though, right? Like, if one of your biggest monetary supporters, you just ban them from your chat.
Yeah.
From super chat. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
After saying that he's helping perverts get off by asking a question. It's
that
hilarious.
seems like a non sequitur, if I can borrow from their logical fallacies.
Nathan Oakley says the Earth is measured flat, and now anytime anybody says, "How, Nathan? What do you mean? It's measured flat."
You're a pervert.
Yeah, you're helping perverts get off. And Nathan doesn't ever have to answer the question other than by saying elevation angle.
But that's kind of par for the course, isn't it? Like gaslighting people. I would think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. It's how you realise that someone like Lumpy, who's like, he's down on his luck, he's lost his job or whatever, and then he starts to go round and he wonders what he's going to put his time into. And he's already put a lot of time into Nathan Oakley, supporting Nathan Oakley, so he thinks he'll go over and have a chat with him. Like help him out a bit. He seems to be saying this stuff and it doesn't really make sense, so he tries to help out, and look what's happened. Publicly. I mean, it's exactly the same sort of thing that happened to me. For saying, like, you just end up by asking the wrong question to the wrong person, and then all of a sudden, public.
So Nathan's pulled a, well, I shouldn't say pulled a Socrates. What would the people around Socrates be called? That'd be a tough one. Like, that'd be a good one, though. He pulled whatever to poison Socrates.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? How did they end up doing that? Pushing that. It's obvious it's a play, right? It's an act, but it's like a public shaming.
Are people asking questions?
Well, yeah, like the punishment that Socrates ended up getting was asking questions, wasn't it? That's what Nathan's doing. He's Nathan's just becoming one of the experts, isn't he? Like Socrates got told he was wise and he went round these different groups of people. Well, Nathan Oakley just considers himself the top one of the flat earth.
Yeah, sorry, I was a bit busy. Yeah, I mean, I caught a bit of that. Like you, I was interested in You Are Not Your Opinion guy who was going to be debating with QE last night, so I kind of listened into that, but it went on for a long time, and I caught up this morning on it. So that was what I was interested in, that bit. And yeah, while I was watching it, yeah, you're right, the chat was, I mean, Gords was asking those questions about how the earth is measured flat, and then as you said, Nathan attacked him using lumpias, saying, you make all these, some people moist, and then brought Lumpy into it, and then kind of claimed that Gords was was Lumpy on a soccer account, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, that doesn't look like his icon. Don't think it's Gords. Yeah, it's probably Lumpy in his soccer account." So they kicked him out. And then Lumpy did message saying, "What's going on? Who's using a soccer account? It's not me." And there was just one comment, and then he was gone. But it's a strange thing that Nathan always, I mean, in recent times, he seems to go to claiming people have got some kind of sexual perversion going on as his way to attack. I mean, he did the same with you. Said that you had some perversions against some young boys in his chat out of nowhere. I mean, it's one thing calling people a retard and the kind of normal crayon muncher and all that, but to sort of come up with, and with you, I mean, even came up with the town, the Kidderminster Fiddler, he called you. I mean, that's quite specific.
Yeah, I've never been there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's there on Nathan's stream. His public. What's the word? Shaming, I guess. The way he shamed. Yeah, he shamed Lumpy, and I did listen to the whole thing to get a bit more context. And Lumpy's been questioning, measuring the Earth flat, and saying the Earth is not the reference.
Well, didn't they have the wrong idea Didn't they have the wrong idea what the Socratic method was? Like,
I think it's definitions or something. I mean, you can't ever get to have that conversation with them.
Obviously. You just poison them. Kick them, ban them. Same thing.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, he just giggled at a couple of things, and then it was more Adam drove it, really. Adam Meakin, he drove that kind of the first thing of perversion, and then Nathan picked up and ran with it a bit more. And, I mean, really got into it, And even Nathan yesterday in the chat said, we have proof he's a pervert, that Lumpy's a pervert. What proof? Because he giggled, because he was...
Yeah.
He giggled,
and
I'm sorry.
he's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, I just came in. Nathan's accepting money from perverts. That's what I just came in on.
He has been.
Oh,
he has done, yes.
In the past, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's probably going to pay him back, give him all the money back.
Yeah,
Like you would, wouldn't
yeah.
you? I couldn't be associated with that kind of thing. I'd have to give him all that money back.
Yeah.
And
Shame on you, Nathan.
So, I mean, on the...
Well, that'd be an interesting stream if Nathan goes back on all of the Godzilla chats and
because Godzilla's always
Godzilla and Lumpy,
chucking money.
Some of the big ones, right?
I'm not taking your filthy money, you pervert.
Yeah. So I mean, they're your own. They're his own. If he's going to go to those levels of attacking people, or even his own people who supported him over the years, and not perverted, but maybe a perverse possibility is that it's all a game. Maybe is Lumpy part of it, kind of. You could go to those extremes of perverseness of this arena that
he's definitely using. Nathan's definitely using Lumpy in order to not answer questions, and it's whether Lumpy's going to accept the I don't know. Like what? Because I know, nobody cares about what people say about you, and
no.
To be honest, the more you seem to say, "Hey, are you sure that's right?" Then they just say, "Oh, you're all triggered by it. Listen to you. You're obsessed with." They said, "Fight the flat Earth." To me, but they'll be saying the same to Lumpy. It's like, "Oh, you're just obsessed with Nathan."
Yeah, but it's it sends out a signal to people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Don't you dare cross this path of asking these questions. Don't you dare.
Well, that's
what
I've been doing over the past few years, hopefully, to make it obvious that you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Leave that to us. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Because this is what happens, and Lumpy's just getting a bit of it now. And it'll be anybody else that goes over to Nathan Oakley and starts trying to engage with him. Like that UR guy last night. He was about to get it from Adam.
Yeah. But then, I was listening today, and they were talking, Brian and Nathan. I mean, Eggshells was in there questioning.
Oh,
And
Eggshells has joined this server as well,
maybe he's run out of 24/7 arguments. It's getting boring. He is a bit boring, but yeah, and they were talking about character assassination, and how the Globers want to personally attack people, and we would never sink that low and do that. And I was just wanting to, I can't speak. I say, what, like you did with Lumpy, you mean?
Yeah.
Because that's, yeah.
Some of his supporters, right? What he doesn't realise, what Nathan doesn't realise is these people that he's having a go at actually support him. They're not saying it because they want to have a go at him. They don't want Nathan to be letting flat earthers, teaching flat earthers some bullshit. But it doesn't work. Not everybody has this mute button that Nathan has. You can't use that tactic in reality, right? You don't get a chance to do it. And I think that's what they're doing. People like Gords and Lumpy, they're the normal people wanting to let Nathan know that it doesn't quite work. And Gords is in the chat here. He says Tony Whitcomb accused him of being a sock.
Yes.
And is
that
what got you kicked, Gords? Did you get kicked at that point? Because they have that as one of their rules, that they don't like socks. So if they can accuse someone of being a sock, then it allows them to just ban them, or get rid of them, time them out, or whatever. But I think that when you get accused of being a sock, that normally means you get banned. You don't ever get a chance of appeal. You go onto that list.
But, all those people are enablers. I've often had that in FED chat. And they'll go, "Oh, you're obsessed with Nathan, this and that." And they, so you're just enabling his behaviour. Yeah. Nobody stands up and calls him out and says, "Whoa, that's a bit too far." And he's one of your own. Lumpy's one of your own. So what's going to happen when it's you who's on the line, and you're all kind of vying for a place on the panel because people have left. What about it's you? They're telling to shut up and ridicule, and if you say the wrong thing, you don't keep to the narrative, then what will happen? And they espouse this Christian kind of they're Christians, and there's nobody who stands up and says, "Come on, Nathan, that's a bit much." Adam particularly, I mean, he's none of them. Even Bible U was in there today and didn't say anything about the way they were talking, and they seem to turn to her for as the source of all scripture and biblical thought, really, it seems. I find it I find it really shocking, but shocking. It seems to be what's going on, but it also,
that's the arena that we're in.
Yep, and I've noticed, listening to other 24/7 and things like that the language is changing, and the way that the flat earthers are interacting with people is going along with that kind of thing that Nathan's taught them in the 24/7 Friday politics thing. Is to this is a way to treat people. This is a way to swear at them. The C word has become quite prevalent. I didn't used to hear it much, but it's become the word to use, it seems. And in that full thing where he took the clip out of Lumpy, he in a previous, I think he said it was like the 22nd or 23rd time, Lathan, he thinks he counts everything. He said it was the 22nd or 23rd time he'd spoken to Lumpy, and that was the 21st or 22nd. And the one before that, I'd called him the C word endlessly. Still Lumpy came back, and so that's Nathan's thing. and trying to. I mean, today he got eggshells came in almost immediately, and he got somebody to silence and shut down like he does on Friday. And he said, "Oh wow, that was a good start to the show." Because he'd only got some video. I think they went over a couple of Will Duffy videos. One was when he was apologizing for lying to the other pastor, and the other one, 10th Man, came in and brought and said, "Oh, this one." Well, that was the one he brought, the one that IW had recommended was a guy. Was it called Level? What's his name? He's got a YouTube channel, Level something. It was on his channel, and it was talking about Will Duffy's alleged criminal activity or financial misdemeanors. It was talking about that. So that's all they'd got to cover. And he was quite excited that he'd got somebody he could just silence and then act as though he was shouting at him, and that's his content.
Well, don't they allow those criminal activities, right?
Yeah.
Flat Earth,
Yeah. I mean,
violent criminal, like
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
allowed.
Yeah.
In fact, he probably did quite well out of that sort of stuff. So Will
He made a
Duffy
profit.
Will Duffy might do okay out of this as well.
Yeah, well, he's the man, the face of all the advertising. So he's in a good position to do that. Yeah, I mean, if it's well known, if you're a celebrity of some sort, you tend to get away with things that other people don't even get a chance to even fight in court. You just slap with a fine or worse. Just the ordinary people don't have that luxury.
Akumu Virus imagines that they've got a globe proof, perfect globe proof, because there's something different than a perfect proof, than a proof somehow. Who knows? Doesn't seem like you know what a proof is, Akumu. Strange that.
Yeah, Kumu, everybody knows tis globe. Come on, man. Get with it.
Perfect proof.
Perfect proof.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
One better than proof, that, isn't it?
What would be better, a perfect proof or the ultimate proof? What would be?
Ooh. Well, if you start putting that in, you could have the ultimate perfect proof.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Now you've opened up a can of worms.
Something about a lighthouse. I don't know why people just say that, like Akumu Virus there, right? You're just saying that Nathan, not with a capital N, has always been lying. How? It's no good just saying that. That's a baseless claim, isn't it? You could say, like, he says that the Earth's flat. And that's a lie, because the Earth's not flat. But can't he just redefine flat? Because, I mean, it is 2024. People can do that sort of thing. Ruhif told us that definitions are meaningless. And since nobody has an understanding of logic, then the law of identity, it doesn't even exist. There's no such thing. If you don't do logic, then you don't need to apply the law of identity to anything. And welcome to 2024.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't bring up logic over at Nathan's QEs. They don't take very kindly to that.
Highway Hermit wants to come in. Does anyone want to? Does he want to come into the VC? come on in. It is free for all. We are live on YouTube, as you know, so please keep your words appropriate, conversation topics appropriate also. Know what the topic is, you've been listening in. So have we got anyone that can sort that out? He's got an inappropriate nickname, so I don't know what that is. Let me have a look. I don't know why it's an inappropriate nickname. Did you perhaps do that? Oh, why that should be an inappropriate nickname. Maybe the bot's a little bit over. Is he in the VC now?
Is the bot being censor happy?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Paige is saying he probably called himself flat something.
Yeah, try not to use the F word. That'll help you out.
I don't get how that's an inappropriate nickname.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much associated with it, but I don't know.
I don't know either.
Unless it's like a foreign. Or he must have changed his own nickname, I think. Has anyone done that? Can you?
I can do it.
Inappropriate nicknamer.
Yeah.
VC role.
Yep. He's got a VC verified.
That's okay then. Highway Hermit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why the bot must be a little bit.
I don't get why that's inappropriate. Hermit, highway, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, welcome anyway, unless he's got his name changed from something else.
Life is a highway. I'm gonna hermit all night long, or whatever the song is. Didn't work.
You want to welcome? Come on in. Have a conversation about it. What do you guys reckon in the chat? Is this sort of the sort of stuff that stops you from entering the conversation, or do you just prefer to sit back and listen anyway? Like, does it make much difference, or do you think at some point Nathan Oakley's going to end up with nobody able to go and talk to him? And would Nathan class that as a victory? Is this just one of the ways that Nathan can imagine a victory?
Isn't this like what like a classical spiraling would be? Like, not only did you he ran the Globers away years ago. I remember when the Globers boycotted going on his channel, but he still managed to get by. But now he's spiraling against his own monetary supporters. Is that the right terminology?
I tried it with him, right? Just to go over there and have conversations to see what you can agree with, right? And the fact it turned bad because I wouldn't say I was a flat earther. I wouldn't join his little flat gang.
Flat gang.
And that's what gets him. It is a gossip one. This is gossip about the community, yes.
Well, but the biggest thing he had was that measurement of the sextant was a flat measurement, but it was a slope measurement. Actually, nobody wanted to call him out on it. But then now it's like measured flat. It's like, how'd you measure it flat when you got a slope angle?
Yeah, it's a contradiction, right? He's telling people a direct contradiction. He's saying this measurement in the vertical plane is a measurement of flatness, which just doesn't make any sense. And the moment anybody says that doesn't make any sense, Nathan, he'll maybe call you a pervert.
Pervert.
Well, who knows? He might say you've been in prison like he did to me. You know.
Yeah. God.
But yeah, what is left though? What's left for people like us that weren't really in this arena to start off with, but we're in the periphery, right? Trying to engage with the people that are in it. But it seems like the people that are in it don't want to communicate with anyone.
Yeah.
Welcome. Is it Highway? I don't know why the bots decided to give you an inappropriate nickname. Let's have a look, see whether I can see what the bot.
It actually went. He's got Highway Hermit. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my internet may be crappy, so if y'all can't hear me, yeah, I don't know why. I haven't been here before. I guess the bot just decided it didn't like me, but
No,
it's all right.
It's give you your name. Your name's there.
Yeah,
now,
Okay. Yeah, Bev, I just wanted to say, like, I like what I've heard from you so far. So, I mean, I don't like it that all these people in the flat Earth community are attacking you. So, keep doing what you're doing. That's all I can say.
Well, yeah, obviously. There's nothing else we can do. But yeah, we're going to be, I don't know. We're changing it up because I think everybody's had enough of the flat Earth nonsense. The moment that flat earthers can admit that the Earth's not actually flat is the moment that I think the game will change. Are you do you consider yourself a flat earther?
Well, I mean, I would say no. I'm a flat water person, I guess. But, I mean, I don't make any claim about the Earth. It's not a globe, I know that.
Well, tis globe. Everybody knows tis globe. The problem you have with that sort of thing is everybody has had this model of globe placed in their heads, and that happens before you have the ability to reason things for yourself. So there's this thing within the human that from the ages from 0 to 6, 7, you have this. There's no need for you to reason anything. So your parents are meant to teach you things within that age, right? That'll help you. That's why they say, "Give me the child till the age of 7, and I will show you the man." Well, most people have had a globe placed within that early bit, and because of that, it gets locked in. Because the reasoning comes after the globe's already in there. You have to then reason everything about the globe for yourself from that age onwards. So everybody's got a globe or an understanding of the globe, but they don't associate it with the globe that you associate it with, within the arena. They just associate it with reality. And the moment you bring people into the arena where you tell them that this model that they think of globe has numbers and things associated with it, they weren't even aware of that. And the only person that tells them that is flat earthers. It's weird. It's like a backwards sort of thing. Probably never heard the number from a globe person. You probably learnt all of the numbers and things from flat earthers. Flat Rocky in the hot tub. Seen him out canoeing. He was out canoeing on the Rydal Canal. Looked massive. That's good. On Canada Day. Hope everybody had a good Canada Day. It's the big day for the Americans tomorrow. Is everybody off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? Does everybody get a day off?
Yeah.
Nope,
it's,
double time and a half for me.
Well, you chose that.
Definitely chose it. I'll take the money.
Yeah.
Is it fireworks and all of that for you, Buster?
Oh yeah. Oh, this is our Christmas. Well, in my
Yeah.
in my household, like anyway, like not for everybody, but yeah, Fourth of July with the fireworks is like everything.
I think I'll be playing the game. Oh, okay. Gizmo's got Friday game day. Big game. Baseball eyes. It's dangerous, Rocky, doing that sort of stuff. Yeah, we've got loads. Tis globe. We're gonna go for the real globe. Proof of globe. I think we could be the new opposition for the flat earthers. Seems like we've always been opposition for the flat earthers, but I mean, we are just talking about the real globe. I mean, I'm defending this for my dad and the missus and, you know, people like that. They live on a globe. They know that the Earth's not flat. They can tell it's not flat. You can't go troubling people by thrusting contradictions into there. You may as well just tell them, look, level is horizontal. Here's a proof. Now put that on your globe and smoke it. Or whatever. We're going to have to think of something else. Something similar to that. Right? Put that on your globe and... You know, wordy people. Come up with that. So yeah, I'm not happy about the way Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, is it self-destruction from Nathan Oakley? I would say I'm not happy about the way he's doing this with Lumpy. Because it's just a public showing that what you get for asking Nathan Oakley, like, obvious questions. Nathan Oakley says some ridiculous nonsense and then does a public show of ridiculing somebody else because he's asked him the question about his nonsense statement.
Yeah, I think Nathan's just kind of intellectually downsizing right now. That's what it seems like.
Well, I mean, those subs are still, you know, there's people still there. Somebody's still buying Nathan, some viewers. At least. And that's keeping Nathan happy. I don't think there's any engagement because they're not really chatting much in the chat. Actually, I wouldn't know because I've not been watching. He banned me. So the moment he bans me from being able to comment in the chat or go over there and communicate with them, there's no point in communicating with them. So I think Flat Earth is pretty much finished because obviously everybody knows that the Earth's not flat. And I don't know where they go next because I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, I've been talking to a few people over the last few days, and yeah, I don't think they do see contradictions. I talked to Funk again, and I've had a couple of conversations with Funk. One was right at the beginning when we first came in. I think one of my earliest videos talking to Funk. And then one when we were over at 24/7. And then when he came over here at the weekend. He doesn't know what a contradiction is. The amount of people within the arena, false dichotomy, that have to accept contradictions, and they'll justify it by allowing the opposition a similar sort of contradiction in a way to justify their own contradiction. That's the arena that we're in. Or you may not be in it. That if you're attempting conversation with anybody, that would be within this arena. I don't know. I don't see much. I can't see many debates going on at the minute, but they want to try and do the biblical cosmology sort of thing. That's maybe why they're bringing a false dichotomy into a faith-based system, because this actual frantic bunny ears flat earth debate has been shown to be a farce. It's not a debate, and the earth isn't even flat. You have to redefine flat as not flat, which is the title of this one's show. We had a guy come round at the weekend. Was it at the weekend? think he came round on Friday, did he? Came round on Friday. Or was it Thursday? I don't know. Came round on Friday, I think. And then Saturday. Was it? I can't remember. I'm no good at remembering days and stuff like that. Yeah, I did have a word with Dell, and I said to Dell, I said, you should have a word with this Will Duffy. And he did. He had a chat with him last night. That was quite good. It's good to hear. So, yeah, there's only really... Because I didn't know. I didn't know either as well, because he said to Dell, and he never said it to me, that he's got like a scoreboard for the flat earth and the globe earth. And he asked Dell which side he wanted to go on. And Dell said he didn't want to go on any side, but I never got asked that. So I don't know whether he put me down as a globe. I did say 'tis globe. He did chuckle with his grin. But I would imagine that at some point Nathan's got to talk to Will Duffy, if not just for the publicity, for him to be able to tell Will Duffy, like they both wrote books.
He can't talk to Will Duffy. Will Duffy's
He's got to sell his book. He's got a reason to talk to these people. Nathan Oakley should be talking to Will.
I can't talk to Duffy. He's the I can't even say it. He's the flat earth slayer.
Duffy.
Duffy the flat earth slayer.
Yeah.
Like Nathan can't.
That's why Nathan's got to do it. Nathan, come on. We should put a thing out. Well, there's got to be some of Nathan's fanboys watching this now. Like, why's nobody got this booking with Will Duffy to talk to Nathan about the lights in the sky?
How did you and Dell get to talk to him before Nathan did?
It's because I sent him an email. Said, if you've not finished promoting your thing, then come and have a chat. I'd like to have a chat with you.
Yeah, but wouldn't Nathan, like, I would think he'd be like all ears to be the like next guy to be offered the position to like given a $50,000 ticket to Flat Earthia. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like if Whitsitt or Jaren doesn't want to go, I mean, I'm pretty sure that'd be, if you're going to get the film crew in, right, to do this sort of behind the curve 2.0 type thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be ideal to get Whitsitt and Nathan Oakley together?
Oh, God, yeah.
Proper TV shit, that would be.
Well, or, I mean, of course, Nathan's not interested. What about QE and Whitsitt? Like two different generations.
Yeah.
Get some Gen X and Gen, what is it? Y? I don't know. Millennia?
Yeah, I don't know if QE's a big enough flat earther, though. For.
Oh, well, the Duffy.
Yeah.
Duff.
We could get Jaren, though. I mean, if Jaren doesn't want to go, he could point at QE, couldn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, but why aren't the guys that are turning it down pointing, like you said, point to somebody else? Like, you should get QE to go, or Nathan, or, Eddie Bravo. He should go.
Yeah, everyone would trust Eddie Bravo about the lights in the sky, wouldn't he?
Yeah. But, well, Witsit would be the guy, because if anybody gets it, it's Witsit.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have Eddie Bravo go because they can't have anybody there that can choke somebody out in Antarctica.
It's against the Antarctica
Yeah,
rules.
that's one of the,
Treaty.
it's one of the rules.
Antarctica Treaty. It's against the Antarctica Convention.
It's a non-violent continent, you know.
It's no choke outs.
Paige says Neil deGrasse is going to be there the day after.
What? No.
Well, if that's not a sign that there's going to be cameras there, right? It's got setup row all over it, hasn't it?
I think it's just coincidental. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just the place to deploy the 24-hour sun patent model. Future tech.
If Eddie Bravo will go, I can almost guarantee you can get Alex Jones to go. And if, man, you want to talk about a great television program to watch. Get those two in the same frame in Antarctica.
Neil
That's what you
deGrasse
need.
Tyson. Get Eric DeBay over there as well. You can have a debate
Yeah,
with
no.
Neil deGrasse Tyson and Eric DeBay.
I think he likes to live in places where shoes are optional. Something like that.
No, he's come to the UK, apparently, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I think he's
Y'all wear
living in
shoes
the
over there?
UK. Not in the house.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit suspicious if that's true. Like, oh, did they actually do? Oh, I saw Awake Souls sort of. They've got a weird idea of a false dichotomy or something. I didn't get it, but I saw them saying that Will Duffy was running from them. I will watch that. That should be some good viewing. You heard Neil himself say it. You watch a lot of funny, different people, you, Paige. Neil deGrasse Tyson and Nathan Oakley, QE. Well, if Neil deGrasse Tyson's going there, then the film crew will already be there, won't they? They'll have sat up. Or you don't travel with a film crew, do you? I don't know, you might. I don't know. What do you reckon? That's worth considering. Mike said, confirmed. Well, what do you reckon to that then? I'd say that if Jaren gets to hear that, I would say there will be zero chance he'd be going over there and being involved in that. FPV says, important. The solstice needs to be recorded after the 22nd of December, not before. When are they going to point at the sun? Yeah, I don't know. Is that when they were going? I thought they were just gonna. It should be a 24-hour sun all the time around there, shouldn't it? I think they're all readying themselves for there actually being a 24-hour sun. And what would that mean to people? Like, you think Jaren's going? You think you want to get on TV? Yeah. Yeah, I think Netflix. I think they were all a bit suspicious about it from the beginning. But Neil deGrasse Tyson's definitely about, the globe, isn't he? I'm not too sure about that, Painter. It's going a bit far. But it's definitely some sort of I said humiliation ritual. But what would it mean? I don't think it means anything. Anyone. Loads of people have experienced the 24-hour sun in the north. But I mean, what do you mean by north? Where? I was saying that, if it depends what sort of proofs you've got to start off with. Like me personally, my proof is a straight line lies within a plane, and we used water levels to do that. Now, I hope Will Duffy doesn't think that he can falsify that with lights in the sky, because it wouldn't do that. So I'm not too sure what he's after. But I don't expect him to take on my proof. But I don't expect him to tell me that he can falsify my proof by lights in the sky. Doesn't seem to make much sense. But I think it's only one for the flat earthers anyway. He did say that, you know, he has a false dichotomy, or he considers it a true dichotomy. I don't. Assign something to his globe. Well, you must be able to prove the globe. We've done this quite a few times. Everything within reality. If the globe is reality, then everything within reality must prove the real globe. So you should be able to use anything really to prove. His globe. Not afraid of the lights in the sky, no. They're not scary at all. There's nothing wrong with the lights in the sky. There are definitely lights in the sky. And they're not scary. Can you imagine that, being scared of lights in the sky? Anyone? You're like scared of the dark or scared of the lights in the sky? Don't know. Did you really think of that one through, Tom? Thom. It's what those lights tell you. Are they talking to you, Tom? What do the lights tell you? And do they whisper it or do they shout it? Celestial phobia. Fear of lights in the sky. I like it. Come on, Tom, what do the lights tell you? Tis globe. I bet it's that, innit? Tis globe. Do they all tell you that at once? It must sound fucking... I bet it does your head in. It's like, which one of you said that? Like a Monty Python sketch. Well, that's what he says. We don't all agree. They show. Have you put that in inverted commas to say like a not that? Because I think I have noticed that modern day people put things in inverted commas, not to say that you're saying it, but to say like a not that, or suggest, not show, by putting it in those. Or do you mean like you just saying that out loud? Kumu's trying some globe humour. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just sort of false dichotomy humour. I don't know whether it's working or not. Has nobody got any other topics? Is that it? Will Duffy, and if I hadn't have brought the Nathan Oakley and Godzilla lumpy ridiculous stuff. I mean, how many other different ways can Nathan have of avoiding the conversation? QE can't even talk about his fallacious modus tollens that he's still trying to push. He can't even address that. Nathan Oakley starts the year off with a ridiculous nonsense statement that he now calls people perverts rather than answering about how you actually do the thing that he's been stating. This whole arena is just a load of nonsense. It's just vertical. Gravity's just vertical. There's nothing else to it other than that. Kumu, do you get assigned to be here? Because you're coming across like a sleeping warrior with ridiculous jokes, nonsense statements, maybe a bit like Ute, similar sort of nonsense. So maybe that's just the way of the world. people eventually, once you've been in this arena for long enough, you eventually just go mad, because the amount of contradictions that pile upon each other and the justifications ends up breaking your mind. Exploded logic, they call it. Once you allow a contradiction within logic, you explode the logic, and at that point anything can happen. You can make a justification for anything within an exploded logic. Seems like that's what we've got. Strange times. Very strange times. I would say I can't see much left for the flat earth conversation. If Nathan Oakley's shutting Godzilla down, then who else is there? I've got it. Level bastard. No Rad will be happy with this. Yeah, he's put it on my to watch list. Now, I attempted to watch it last night, but it may have been a bit late. And I do tend to listen to things as I'm falling asleep. And I must have fallen asleep pretty quickly, because can't really remember anything. He told me to start at the beginning. I can sort of vaguely remember something about it. We're talking about Joe Rogan podcast with Eric Weinstein and Terrence Howard.
Yeah, Weinstein. They clarified that in the podcast, because he said that all those Jewish people are getting upset over Harvey, so they all go by Weinstein now instead of Weinstein.
Well, I had a Weimaraner, so in Germany that's V, isn't it? It's but I guess they've dropped that as well. I guess. Weens. I don't know. What's that say, Tom? Tom says, Tom Walbrand, right? I don't know why he's bringing his grandkids into it. My 4-year-old grandkids know what is meant when someone stated that something showed or told to you something it is by knowledge, not physical. But then again, I never expected anyone here to be smarter than 4-year-old. Let me try that again. I take it English isn't your first language, Tom? It states, my 4-year-old grandkids know what is meant when someone stated that something showed or told you something. It is by knowledge, not physical. But then again, I never expected anyone here to be smarter than... I don't know. Somebody doesn't tell you something by knowledge. Like, that's a pretty bad misunderstanding, particularly when you're talking about 4-year-olds. That's exactly why I was saying about this idea that you get given the globe by adults as in your formative years, like in these years before you can reason for yourself. And your parents are meant to be guiding you with this stuff. It's quick access. So, you know, if you're told a load of nonsense, then that's what gets locked in. That's your base understanding. At that point, I mean, the whole idea of the trivium is to give you the law of identity, the grammar is the usage of words and association of words to things. That's grammar. That's what happens from the formative years. From 0 to 7, you get told what things are and you associate them by word. And then logic is allowed to happen. But if somebody's given you this ball and said, "'Tis globe," in that early years, then, like, do you associate the ball with globe? Or is it just the ball with certain patterns, with green and blue bits on it, that you associate with the globe? It's hard to tell how that actually works. Well, I mean, for me it is. I'd have to have conversations with people in order to know what you imagine that to be. But where did that concept of globe come from? Because you were never taught anything about it. Nobody was ever taught anything about globe. LIGO would prove. How would LIGO prove if level curves or not, Akumu? Go on. It's like asking Nathan Oakley. Nathan Oakley's just made a ridiculous claim, just like you have there, Akumu. We know that you can't justify how LIGO would prove anything. You wouldn't even know what a proof is, let alone hand it over to LIGO to prove it for you. Tom says, in college, to achieve a degree, you must test for yourself, not take what is in books or a teacher said. Yeah, and what do you think? Is there a test for TIS Globe that you can do in college? I don't think so. There's no TIS Globe test. The only proof of globe is the one that we have, and that's a proof by contradiction. In order for you to be able to engage in the conversation about the proof of globe, you would need to be able to engage in what a proof by contradiction is. And then you'd have to be able to acknowledge what a contradiction is, let alone a proof by contradiction. Yeah, they can't come up with proof. We can, though. But I'm not going to... Here's the one thing I'm not going to do, right? Call it advertisement or whatever. I'm not going to publicly state the proof of globe. If you want to engage in the proof of globe or the discussion about it, then come into the Discord. It's proof of globe is for, at the minute anyway, it's for private sessions, at least until we can find a better display method for it. Because what the idea is, there's a rhetorical approach, rhetoric, right? We need to know how to converse. And since everybody's different and everybody has their own model of globe, it's been given to you as a child, and you've developed this model of globe as you've grown up. You've developed your own, and as individual as everybody is, that's how individual their particular globes are. They're framed. The globe that they've imagined has been framed around their own experiences. So it's all about communication. Well, James Arthur's been told I'm a flat earther. No, they lied. I'm definitely not a flat earther, James. I don't know how many times. In fact, I think I hold the possibly the world record for saying I'm not a flat earther. I have said it a lot. Unless somebody wants to, recite it for a couple of years non-stop, they might be able to claim. But yeah, I think I do hold that record. Definitely wrote it the most in reply to people calling me flat earther. Yes, definitely not a flat earther. Go and ask a flat earther. See what they say. But it's not level. Yeah, a water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. One of the levels is called a water level. So it would be ridiculous to say that it's not level. That's one of those contradictions. A water level. Are you saying that's not level? That doesn't make sense, does it? That can't be what you mean, Tom, right? Never said water curves, but it is not level. A water level is the out level. How do people get themselves in these positions, right? I think it's all to do with contradictions. If you want to study anything, I'd try looking at contradictions. Is sea level, Bev? Is sea level, Bev? Sea level is measured on the vertical datum. It's a vertical level, sea level. This is something that flat earthers have not bothered telling you, right? Because they've got a misunderstanding of it, of what level is. When you say things like sea level or eye level, you're talking about a vertical, a height. Sea level goes up and down. Your eye level is a distance, a vertical distance from the ground where your feet are. So it's vertical. Now that's different than a water level. A water level, like every other level, is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. Two different things. Very closely related. But, there's a difference between vertical and horizontal. Yeah, the mean sea level is just a point on a vertical datum. It's a mathematical average of when they measure the up and the down They put a number to all of those up and downs, and they use the mathematical mean to be able to establish a point on the vertical datum. That's what they call the mean. Dead easy to understand when you know mathematics. Mean sea level is it's just a point. It's just a point, Tom. The mean is a mathematical thing, right? It's a function. And it's on the vertical datum, just a point. I don't know why people are like this, after all this time. Pretty sure, Tom, you've been around for a while. I guess if you, Tom, can do that sort of thing, Nathan can do it too. Completely misunderstand a mathematical average of points on a vertical. Where I live, Tom, there's a 10-meter difference between high and low tide. Don't get confused between the vertical level and the horizontal level. Now, I may call myself guilty of that as well, because at the beginning I have a statement that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. Well, that's because I come from the understanding of surveying. And I know the flat earth guys like to go to mean sea level. Nathan Oakley uses it a lot. But he doesn't understand what it is either. The difference between a mean. In fact, Nathan doesn't really like using the mean. No, the mean is a mathematical average, Tom. Like, surely you know what that is. You must have done it in school. Mean, median, mode. There are different ways of working out an average, let's say. But you know this, Tom. You've been in this for that long. It does make you wonder why they keep doing this. Like, keep coming back with the same thing. They used to say flat earthers reset. Press the reset button. Well, I mean, I've been talking to people about straight lines, level, proof, logic. The reset button happens all the time. It's not around the world. It's at a particular point. The mean. Oh, well done, Eric. Sounds like you've been taking this on, Eric. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Like, when you know, you know. If you've known how a mean is established, then you know it's just at that one point. It's not all over. There's a measuring rod, and you work out the mean on that measuring rod, not anywhere else. Nobody identifies curved lines as straight lines. They just reformat the geometry it's based it in. Just try and convince you that you haven't noticed that that's what they've done. Yes, Akumu. Loads of different means. Unless you want to be like Nathan Oakley and the Flat Earth guys, and they want to say, well, we'll just have a mean of all the means. And since all the means are 0, then
Agents of the logos defend us off the straight line.
It was my Discord. Is Discord messing us around? I am still in Discord, aren't I?
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, cool. I don't know why it did that. Like I left and come back in again. Yeah, you can't have a mean of all the means because all of the means are already a 0. So you just add in a load of zeros up. Unless you're talking about Amsterdam. They have 3 different levels. Also Canada. Theirs is established in the the entirety of America, Canada, and Mexico. All use their sea level established within the Great Lakes. So that would be obviously at a higher elevation than 0. Backtrack back down again to then establish some sort of height. But that's where their mean is established. So it's a common for America, Canada, and Mexico. Or maybe parts of Mexico. The Dead Sea's the lowest point, is it? On land. I think. I'll go with that one. Sounds good. Yeah, there would be, wouldn't there? That makes total sense, that. Just add up all of the means and hey presto, divide it by however many. 0. You can't really relate them together other than all a set of means established at different points. But hey, why not add them all up and have a mean? One mean. have research. In fact, I spend several weeks a year working with Noah gathering data. Nice. Doesn't know that a water level is level. He said that the water level isn't level. Not level. Or the water's not level. But the water level is a tool that establishes a horizontal plane of reference.
What does the mean show?
Wouldn't the ultimate mean?
Yeah, the mean of the means.
Yeah, the mean. The zero, obviously. If you hadn't established all of your other means as zero, then your mean might not be zero, but you'd hope it would be zero at the end, right? If you came back with the mean being like 2, you'd be like, what's going on here?
Well, what's your reference from the means to get your mean? Oh, maybe the
one mean to govern them all. Dictated by the globe.
One mean to govern them all. It's the golden mean. Oh. I feel like I need a necklace with the golden mean.
Mean sea level is not 0.
What?
Depends where the mean's established. What's the mean then? Are you sure you've looked into this, Tom? Are you just here to state ridiculous shit? Could you be a flat earther? He could be a flat earther, right?
I'm pretty sure he's just talking shit at this point.
Yeah, he's got not that, hasn't he? Right?
Well, I mean,
I'm just gonna do not that all the time. I'll show you about fucking contradictions. What's this?
Yeah, I mean, like a mean sea level and then a mean of the mean sea level. It's like that's like I don't know. How do you do that?
And now he says mean sea level is not 0. So I suppose that's why you might have a differing mean other than 0.
Is mean sea level 1? Is it 2?
Yeah, minus. Like, does it go into?
Oh
minuses?
yeah, negative.
Oh,
it could be.
Stuff?
Yeah, it could be a negative. Like you get a mean and it's a negative.
Yeah, because then that way you could still end up with a mean being 0.
Some are plus, some are minus.
Just a few minuses, right?
Yeah. I mean, but that begs the question: how do you get it? How do you get a negative mean?
Level is a ball. There you go. That's
what?
A statement. Level is a ball.
Level is a ball.
Yeah. That's what the globe guys would say if they were honest. Right? Whereas we say level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
I think we could help with this. It's a monad mean.
Yeah. Oh, the center.
Yeah, monad mean. I mean, come on.
Monadic mean. The
There you
monadic
go.
mean.
There you go.
Oh, that's totally globe.
Yeah. Globe the shit out of that one.
In fact, that's going down on the board. Let me get the pen out.
Monadic mean.
The monadic mean. I'll have to get into the website again. The all-encompassing mean at the centre of all means. It'd have to be in the centre, wouldn't it? Like, that's good, that.
I guess. How do you get a mean from a monad? I don't know.
Searching for the data. Stand by.
I mean, I guess if you tied mean sea level to maybe a light in the sky, I don't know. Maybe you could do it. I don't know. That'd be a pretty far stretch, though.
Why are people so obsessed with this sort of thing? You guys have been around this for 4, 5, 6 years. Doesn't really matter how long you've been around this. If you don't know what level is or have some sort of a concept or a proof about it, and still want to talk with people that deny that, then be my guess, you're just going to carry on doing it. You're round and round and round in circles, getting nowhere. Either you don't have a proof of anything for yourself, or you want to talk with people that have no proof. One or the other. Maybe both. Both of them together. Maybe nobody has any proof, and that's why people are willing to converse with each other about what they both really don't want to talk about, which is actually gaining a proof for yourself. But there does seem to be a lot of people that want to make ridiculous statements. Like, Ted, that says parallels are level. That's a ridiculous nonsense statement. Ugh. We only used levels within the proof. So that's why I say we prove the straight line lying within the plane. I mean, if people want to say it's not a proof of a straight line lying within a plane, then you would have to be falsifying the straight line lying within the plane proof using water levels. I mean, talking about it won't help anybody prove anything. Proof needs to be some sort of mathematical, logical understanding. get some more like me Logic. We'll get the I'll get them out. Does anybody know who would be willing to hear out proof of globe? Obviously the globe guys have already got their own proofs of globe, right? Everybody's heard all of the proofs of globe from the globe guys. Everybody has heard those, right? No? That's weird. If anybody does want to come and go over the proof of globe and the, show us that you know what a contradiction is. You're not willing to justify contradictions. And then we can have a conversation. I think we might start employing the 12 to see whether we can actually... We'll go back to basics.
There's only been a handful that went through the 12 and didn't fare too well. But, hey, you never know.
Yeah, the straight line was always the sticking point after the first round. Because you get to the number 12 and then that's where you get into problems. You have to go back again. Like a cycle. I don't know what else to do. Has anybody got anything else you want to go over? Otherwise, we'll go to a Discord only sesh. See, there's a lot of people don't really like talking when it's live. It's much more better when we're in the Discord. So if anybody does want to come in and have a chat, hit the Discord link. Come on into Discord. We'll have a chat. Go over some of these things. Other than that, we will be back Friday, but I don't know what we're going to be doing. We'll do a free-for-all Friday and give people a chance to have their say. Who knows what's going to be going on. It looks like Nathan Oakley is shutting down conversation. Anybody asking questions. So if you want to ask questions, come over here. We'll try and do our best without insulting you or calling your names or anything like that. Take on all questions. And there's no need to be scared either. We answer questions. That's what we've been doing. There's a lot of people want to call us liars or whatever, but I mean, test us out. Call us dishonest if you want, if we won't redefine or won't let you redefine words. And if you're out there, you are, pop on in. Let's have a conversation about the biblical thing. I think that was interesting. I wouldn't mind getting into those sort of conversations, debates or whatever. Oh, Eric's got something. Nice one. Anybody got any requests for outro? Oh, wait a minute, me thingy's acting up.
I just wanted to say, yeah, it's been nice listening. You bring a lot to the conversation, so I'm glad you're doing these live streams.
Yeah, we're going to keep on doing them, I think. I think the arena needs it. It needs somebody that doesn't shut down the conversations. Allows them to happen. I've got a Betty Fools this is relative. I hope so, anyway.
If you have something picked, great. But if you don't and you're not too sure, we wouldn't mind some old school Buster. You know?
Yeah.
And, whatever.
Yeah. Well, go on then. Name one. I've got them here, right in front of me right now.
Oh, I can't name one. Only Fools?
Yeah, that's the one I put all of the...
Don't take advice from fools.
Don't take advice from fools. I'm sure I just named another song from somebody else. My apologies. It's hard. I get you professional music artists mixed up all the time. My apologies.
Yeah, I had a Betty one. Relative. I don't know where it's gone now, though. Oh. A five-sided square, that's an only fools. Five-sided square. Yeah?
That's good.
That's a good one. All right.
Mathematical quandrum. Go ahead.
This is what happens when you allow contradiction to take over your logical framework. Here we go. This is what happens, particularly within geometry.
Schemas at work.
Thanks for joining us. It's been a bit shorter than usual, but hey, we have been on Twitch for 8 hours today already. So, all right, I'll see you Friday, perhaps, or catch us on Twitch. Maybe you might find us on there. See you Friday. Thanks for watching.
Hey, let me just stop you here before you go any further, guys. You know, you said about the five-sided square. Just to clarify, so if you want to make a clarification now, because there are people in the chat that will probably jump all over that and try to make some kind of stupid video, retarded video about it. So
I'm a five-sided square earther.
You know, in order to clarify what you've just said, then you might just need to back that up somehow.
Yeah, no problem. So the five-sided square is possible on a shape that...
A square on the surface of a sphere could have 3 sides,
five-sided square,
4 sides, or 5 sides.
It probably has a more technical name for it, but
five-sided square
appears as though it's almost like
a square or a solid square.
A square.
Five-sided square.
Just a square.
Five-sided square.
I got your numbers right here.
Five-sided square.
It's just as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Five-sided square.
You have to open your mind.
3 sides, 4 sides, or 5 sides.
Imagination is all you need.
Five-sided square.
Don't take advice from fools.
Five-sided square.
Everything that they say is in vain.
If you want to define a square is...
Never take advice from fools.
You could make a five-sided square.
What they do is in vain.
Before you go any further, guys, you said about the five-sided square. Just to clarify,
if you want to define a square as an object that has only 90-degree internal angle.
Actually, slightly random point, but if any of you're into math, there's a certain shape where you could make a five-sided square.
Give us the definition then of a square.
Five-sided square.
Everything is relative to you.
It means a solid square, I mean a solid cube.
You just have to say it. Generality.
4 sides or 5 sides.
Just like those straight lines curving.
You could make a five-sided square.
Drive down the road, don't you ever swerve.
Five-sided square.
I don't know.
Five-sided square.
It probably has a more technical...
All of this goes.
I'm a five-sided square earther.
Never take advice from fools.
Five-sided square.
Everything that they say is in vain.
But you can make a five-sided square with 90
Never
degrees.
take advice from fools.
Five-sided square earther.
Everything that they do is in vain.
Five-sided square earther.
Did he say a five-sided square, question mark?
Spherical axis and that is a good way of working out that we do indeed live on a globe.
Give us the definition of a square, please, B-Ball. Come on.
It's a lot more complicated than spherical,
Don't be stalling.
Five-sided square.
isn't it? Bill?
I'm a five-sided square earther.
Five-sided square.
I know the game that you're playing.
It's a lot more complicated than spherical.
I know exactly what's on your mind.
Five-sided square.
You got your playbook, it's alright.
Five-sided square is
Your
possible.
model dictates what you will find.
Five-sided square.
I don't know.
If you put a flat piece of paper, well, it wouldn't be flat. You'd have to bend it,
All
obviously.
of this goes.
But you can make a five-sided square with 90
Take
degrees.
advice from fools.
But you can make a five-sided square with 90 degrees.
In vain.
Five-sided square.
Never take advice from fools. We all know what they do is in vain.
Five-sided square.
Square in spherical geometry could have 3 sides,
Five-sided square.
4 sides, or 5 sides.
If you're into math, there's a certain shape
Five-sided square.
where you could make a five-sided square.
Just give us the definition of a square in spherical geometry.
I don't think that. What's the point?
It's
of that
really flat and level now.
Five-sided square. Five-sided square.